So, welcome everyone. We are live now with the wonderful Phoebe. She is my client from both Leap into Love and the Inner Circle, and she has an absolutely inspiring story of life and love transformation. And she's a single mom, and she has faced every single fear of investment that you can possibly imagine because she has worked with us on our top level programs, and she has completely changed her life because of that. So I am so grateful, Phoebe, that you made the time to come and share your story with all the lovely women out there. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome, Sami. Thanks for the opportunity to be with you today.
Awesome. I am so excited. All right, Phoebe. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you found me, and where was your love life at that point?
So when I found you, I was in a very devastated place. I was just ghosted from a guy that I was seeing for almost 2 months. Everything was going well, I believe. And we were intimate, and I was expecting that I was the only one and that we would be going somewhere. And then one day I didn't hear from him. So I looked up. There was a single mom group that actually mentioned you. And then when I click on your page, and everything was just resonating. So I said, I had to reach out to this woman. I believe that she has the answers. So I sent you an email, and looking back, if I read that email again, I only have compassion for myself because it was different. It was totally different back then. So I reached out to you. Your team got back to me. I downloaded the ebook, The Road to, I forgot, I'm sorry, Road to Feminine
Commitment.
Yes. And with just the ebook, I had a breakthrough. So I decided to really go much deeper.
How old were you, or how old are you now? How old were you when you came to me?
I was 31 years old. Now I'm 32.
And what was your pattern of relationships like? So you came to me when you got ghosted on, but what was your pattern of relationships like before that?
Okay, so when I came to you, I was actually going through a divorce as well. So I had a pattern of really bad relationships in the past, toxic, unhealthy relationships. I got out of a marriage. I was going through a divorce at that time. I think I was seeing two guys in the past that happened after my marriage ended, and they were both unhealthy. And then that was when I learned that I need an expert. I need a guide, because I can't keep doing this kind of pattern in my relationships again.
That's so amazing, because I think so many women fall into the trap of trying to do this themselves. I think a part of us feels ashamed of the fact that we need help in this department. And
Yeah.
I think another part of us actually feels like, maybe I can figure this out on my own. There's also this, false sense of confidence, unfortunately, because we're not experts. In fact, most of us are walking around with with the biggest possible bucket of limiting beliefs, bad habits in love, but we somehow still don't, understand that, an external intervention, an expert intervention is what's going to help us. So I see so many women who try to get through the free advice. So I want to ask you, did you also look for free advice on the internet before you
I was
started?
looking at your free YouTube videos and your Facebook videos, and I think it takes a lot of courage for someone to say, I have to do this. Because there are things, like when you're driving your car, you have blind spots. There are things that you can't see. And it takes a lot of courage to admit that. So
how did you decide? So, given that you were doing all this research and looking at so many people out there and so much information, the internet is full of free information, right? So, if free information transformed lives, nobody would be struggling right now. But still, millions are struggling even in their love life. So, I would like to ask you, what was the turning point for you that you decided to invest in the bigger program? What made you dive in for Leap into Love, which is 2,000 euros, and on early bird right now for 1497 for the next 2 days? What was the changing point? What triggered you to invest in this way in yourself?
when I had that call with you, Sami, and then you made me realize that I was making decision out of fear, out of scarcity. And I realized that you're right. I was actually, every decision I was making, I had a breakthrough at that time, was out of scarcity mindset, it was fear based, and I wasn't showing up for myself. And that's when I realized that I have to do something different for myself for the first time.
It's so funny because your connection call with me is one of the calls I still remember 2 years ago. Because I remember your face went just red and you were so scared. Like I could feel the anxiety of spending money. And I find this, I empathize with it, but I've always personally been someone like when I know I want something, I have never had an issue. If I believe that something's going to help me, and because I am so deeply connected with what I want, I'm so deeply connected with my desires. That's how I've created everything in my life. When I was a student, I was spending, I used to get 800 euros savings stipend, and I invested on a $900 love coaching program. I was crazy, but I wanted it so bad. And I believed it could help me. And I believed that there was power in learning from experts. And then, of course, with my coach training certification, it was again a crazy ride. I was just, I had my consultancy job, I had like 10,000 euro savings. I spent 8,000 euros on getting my coach training certification and doing my career transition from being a trained economist to becoming a love coach. Everyone thought I was crazy, I was nuts. But I have always been the kind of woman that when I know that I am so deeply connected with what I want and with my desires that there is fear. I would say there is doubt, but it's never bigger than the desire. And yet I see so many women, they give into fear again and again and again, and they're not able to get out of that hamster wheel choice. It's a hamster wheel choice because you keep deciding from fear and then nothing changes, and that compounds your fear that nothing will change. And so every time an opportunity knocks at your door, you no more believe that anything can change, so why even try? And then the hamster wheel just carries on. And at some point, that hamster wheel is what we need to break. We need to break out of fear-based choices. So
Exactly.
I'm still laughing because I remember that call so well. You went red in the face. And you still signed up. You did it. Yeah. And you didn't only do Leap into Love, you also went on to sign up for the 5,000 euro Inner Circle program, which is a way bigger investment than Leap into Love. So I want to ask you,
Went to London to see you.
what has been the transformation? What do you have today? What have these programs been able to do for you? Because you're a different woman. I know it. I see it. So I want the ladies to see that and witness that.
Okay, so before, the way I was approaching dating was, I was always in performance mode. I thought that being a good looking woman, having all these credentials, being a professional woman, if I just tell that to a man, then they're like, okay, sign me up, I'm all yours. I thought that that's how it works. That's what I believe. So, and then I realized it was just one disappointment after another. They don't really care about that. None of them really cared about that. And it was, my first breakthrough was realizing that my worth has nothing to do with all of those things. So that's when the transformation happened. And I became a different woman. I became more relaxed in dating and leaned back and more mysterious. And the guys just kept coming at me, and it's been different ever since.
So what results have you created for yourself? I know you're saying that your self-worth really, shot up, and you realized that you were not your achievements, and you were not your degree, and you were not the money you make, and the guys just kept coming, and that is awesome. So what do you have right now in your life? Do you want to share it with the ladies?
Sure. First, I want to talk to you about what happened at work, because that was really the first result that I've seen when I started subconsciously applying your methods at work. My job has become much easier and much better, and opportunities arrive at my doorstep. And I had a high position in my previous job, and what happened was that everyone received a raise, and that has never happened for the last 5 years. So I was so amazed with that result, and after that I received another raise. So it was two raise salary increase within 60 days. And I shared that in the group. I was like, oh my gosh, this work really works. And then not only did I get that result from my job, but I also had a different result from people around me, from my family, friends. Everything was just interrelated. Everything was connected. And then I was also doing the work, of course, in dating. And I was being treated much better with the man that I was meeting everywhere, in person and online.
I just want to make sure everybody gets this, because I remember that you actually went and negotiated that raise. The first
Yes.
raise, you went and negotiated that. You didn't say that right now, so I'm just saying it so that everybody really gets this. You actually went and you negotiated that raise, not just for yourself, but for your entire team. You were the champion. You went and you led that negotiation, and then everybody got that raise. I'm saying this because I think women don't realize how deeply money wounding and money wounds are connected with low self-worth. And when your self-worth rises, money has to flow in, because you just suddenly realize your value and you charge what you're worthy of. When you look at my private coaching prices, they reflect that I truly believe in what I'm doing. And it's not for everyone, and I don't want it to be for everyone, but I freaking believe that it changes lives forever. And so I think people often ask me, will I get money from this program? If I do Leap into Love, will I make money from this? Now, I would never want to say that that is our intention. We're not a money-making coaching service. There are many money mindset coaches out there. But of course, I think in my life is a living example of when your self-esteem rises, when you believe in yourself, and when you find your power, you find your authentic voice. You are able to speak up without the fear of rejection, and not speak up in a sarcastic way, or speak up in a snarkly way, which is very low value behavior and low value communication when women do that. I think this power comes from dignity, power that we have to express ourselves, but from a place of love and dignity and respect. And I think this is so many of our clients from Leap into Love have manifested more money, not because we train in how to manifest more money, but because when you start to vibrate at a higher level, you just attract more money. I mean, so many women have such wounded relationships with money. It is crazy for me to watch. Some women, they do inner circle, but they find it hard to do date like a diva, even though they know that date like a diva has something that inner circle doesn't have. But it's hard to spend that 97 because there's so much angry energy around it, and so much resentment. it's just crazy how much money wound exists. And I can only say that, you know, when your self-worth increases, when you realize what you're valuable, that you're worthy, you know, you just attract more money. You also heal your relationship with money. You understand it's a flow, it's a river. It's not supposed to sit there and be static, right?
Yeah.
Which is what it is like for so many of us. So yes, you negotiated that raise for yourself and for everybody else around you, which is absolutely phenomenal. I also know my client Petra, who works for a very high-level real estate company, um, did leap into love, and she came back and told me that she negotiated her salary increase by, guess what, 50%. So she was really underpaid, and she didn't even realize that. You know, she was like, oh my God, I've been putting up with this for so long. I'm worthy of more. So yes, I think so many of our clients attract more money, not because we are a money-making coaching company service, but because when your vibration rises, you realize what you're worthy of, and you find your power. That's what you found, Phoebe. You
Yeah.
found your voice.
Yes.
Before you came to me, you didn't know you had this. Yeah.
I was
And now
down.
look at you. And now look at you. Awesome. So you want to tell us a little bit about what you have created in your love life now?
Okay. Well, I have manifested a really amazing man.
Look at her glowing.
Yes. Yes. This guy, all he thinks about is my happiness, my needs, my wants, my desires, not only for me, but also for my daughter. He's always there, always available. And our days have been so magical. Like, I've never had this in my entire life, Sami. This is the first time that I have this kind of relationship when I'm at peace with or without him. It's amazing. It's something that that's very priceless. I don't think I would have this kind of, or even appreciated this kind of relationship if I didn't do this work.
So let's get more into this because this is important. And I know Leaping to Love Module 3 on intimacy, fears, and overcoming judgment really helped you with this. So can you tell us a little bit more about, I would never have dated this guy had I not done this work? And how was Leaping to Love instrumental for you in this healing journey?
Okay. So I think the most profound breakthrough I had with Leap into Love was when I realized it was in module 3, when you read a letter from your client about the intimacy fear that she had. And if I remember it correctly, she said that she was attracted to an available man because it felt safe. And that's when I was like, oh my God, that's so me. So what happened with my previously was that I tend to push men away as they get starting closer because I was afraid that they were going to see the real me, because I had this general feeling of unworthiness, that if someone sees the real me, they're going to run away. So that was a big breakthrough for me. And that's why men who take things slow, who take their time to get to know me, scares the scares the hell out of me. I was like, it gives me like this fear, like, oh, what if they're gonna see the real me, and then what if they're not gonna like it? So, and that's why I was interested with emotionally unavailable men, because it felt safer. And that's when everything started to change.
Wow. And would you say you also have this habit of, wanting the guys who did not want you and always sort of running after the men who were not into you, or, finding the men who were into you boring? Would you say you were more judgmental, like towards men who were into you?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you that well.
Okay, so I was asking if you also had this pattern where you were judging the good guys, like finding them boring and finding the bad boys exciting?
Yes, I did have that pattern. And I don't know if it's also related with the intimacy fears, because um, I, I was into a lot of chemistry based relationship when it's very so hot in the beginning and then just fizzles out after 3 to 5 days. So that has been my pattern. Like everything was so good in the beginning, and I just, I was in cloud nine and feeling that everything is great. And then meanwhile, the good guys who are doing what real men should do, I find it boring. I find myself judging them and telling, oh, what are they? This is no more.
Boring. Boring.
Yes. So, but with this work, with your work, there, I had a total change with that approach. I, it's crazy because even my friends can't believe it, that I find those men unattractive anymore. They don't interest me anymore. And the good men are now more interesting for me. So that was another breakthrough.
Wow. And I know personally so many women remain single because of this particular thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, not everyone has it. Like there are some of our clients who just succeed, with the inner circle. It's a great container. It gives you life support. It tells you how to not get attached too quickly. It gives you the nuts and bolts of dating. Like yourself, love yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. You're great as you are. Don't get attached too quickly. Lean back. Put your boundaries. Simple dating process. It's so many of our clients succeed with that, right? But every client is different. Some women just have deeper levels of blocks. Some women just have deeper levels of blocks, and they just have to do the deeper inner work. And so for you, I think inner circle was powerful, but I fundamentally believe that it was the leap into love with the intimacy first that made the biggest difference for you.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
The inner circle, the sisterhood was amazing. Oh, I met so amazing women in there. You have a great community.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on that. I've connected with a lot of women around the globe, and they're amazing. They're fantastic, and we keep contact until now. So
that is great to hear. Thank you so much. It's
wonderful.
Amazing women.
Wonderful.
Yeah, like attracts like, right? So I have to confess, I attract really amazing women. All right, so now this has been an absolute transformational story. You're a single mom. You invested big style, $8,000 plus inner circle, lead it to love. Even before that, you did some more work. What is your message to the women who have the same old 20 years? Because if I gave this amazing 35 hours plus of content and training materials for $100, everybody would sign up in the blink of an eye. So when people stare at the same page but don't press the buy button and just get in, it's the money. It's again and again the money fears. So as a single mom, as a woman who has overcome that fear, and I know I'm going to see you on one of my retreats one day, and I know, I'm going to see you again. You're going to keep doing this for yourself. How did you overcome the fear and just leaped in? Like, how did you make that happen? What was the inner message that you gave yourself?
So my message for women out there is that if you have these money fears and you don't overcome it, then you will always have it for your entire life. And just trust that money flows in all ways, and you have to show up for yourself, and you have to invest in yourself, because it's going to come back to you in a lot of ways. I took the leap because I believe that I was worthy of the investment. And it's the first time in my life that I actually invested a large money on something for myself. And it was so scary at first because I have never done that. For someone who has always put somebody else first, it was scary. But it took a lot of courage for me to do it. And it's because of this, I don't know, what do you call this, Sami? Inner voice? gut feeling, intuition. It was in there. It was so strong. I can't even logically explain it. It's beyond words. But you know, our mind tricks us. Our mind's purpose is to protect us. That's where our ego lies, and it will tell us, oh, it will give us million reasons not to do it. But the burning is there, so that's why that's why I took the leap, and here we are.
Wow. I think I shudder when I think of what you would be and what your life would look like if you had not made the leap. I don't
Yeah,
think anything worse would have happened. I don't think you could have gone worse. Maybe, I don't know. But I think I can very much bet on the fact that you would still be spinning in the same headspace.
absolutely. So it was like a gift for myself from my higher self, if you think about it. And it's, believe me, a year from now, you're gonna thank yourself if you do this. You're gonna go through a lot of transformation. It's not gonna be always rainbows and butterflies, because you're gonna deal with a lot of things, but it's totally worth it. It's worth every penny.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Makes me teary-eyed. I mean, we actively, openly requested, of course. I want to be transparent about this. We actively, openly requested our current Leap into Love clients to share their honest experience with the program. And we even did a midterm survey, and we got a 10 on 10 from everyone. Everyone. I sat and cried. I have to be honest, because I was so scared of running the survey. And I was like, oh my God, people are going to say all sorts of things. Are you ready? Brace yourself. Go look at the comments you've gotten. And then one after another, 10 on 10, changed my life. 10 on 10, changed my life. 10 on 10, changed my life.
Aww.
And I sat there and I cried, because I think in sharing this work and in doing this work, I have to overcome my own fears. I have to believe that, what I'm teaching changes lives. And on some days I forget, some days I forget. So I'm actually, I'm this time I'm giving an early bird with 2 life coaching group calls. And I decided I'm not going to do this again. My time is precious. People have to recognize what an opportunity we're offering them. People have to recognize what is staring them in the face. And I think you have to be at a certain point of readiness within yourself to recognize what an opportunity is staring you. It's an opportunity to change your entire life. When you look at the reviews we've got, and when you look at the client feedback, not a single woman said this was not worth it. Not a single woman said it did not touch them or impact them or move them in a very deep way. And it changes your life. It just changes who you are. And so I can only say that, it's just such a joy to see you like this. Thank you for showing up and sharing your inspiring story. I can't wait to share your engagement. I know it's coming and it's on the way. I met you in London personally on our live event, and I remember asking you, are you sure he's on the way? And you said, yes, he is. And I remember my Leap into Love client, Gabriella, maybe we even asked her to come and, share her story here.
Like her.
She also said the same thing. She sat on the interview panel, and I said, so do you believe your soulmate is on the way? She said, absolutely. I 100% believe he's on the way. And so, it was so powerful. It's so powerful. You ladies vibrate such powerful, positive thought and vibrate such powerful, positive belief. And yes, I do the work, but I think you guys carry the torch. You are the ambassadors, because you are the ones with the courage. You are the ones who leap above your fears. You are the ones who leap above your egos. So I just want to again acknowledge you for the amazing woman that you are, for doing this for yourself.
And thank you so much for your gift, Sami. You truly have a gift of seeing what other people can't see. The things that you were you were saying to me privately, you have a gift. It's amazing. Not everyone can show you that. Not every coach has that gift. And when you told me that, do you believe that your soulmate is already here? And you were right. It was just a matter of time, but he was already there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate the love. I suck it all up and I put it in my love jar. So thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, so this was the lovely Phoebe. The group is full of women like her. All special, all extraordinary in their own ways, all with extraordinary stories. And I truly believe that if you are looking for inspiration, if you are looking for hope, we really cannot offer you more. The group is buzzing with it. The group is buzzing with results. The group is buzzing with testimonials of real life women who have had such phenomenal results with Leap into Love. So this is a loving reminder that only the next 2 days are now available for you to jump in. We are giving 500 euros off on the standard investment. Woohoo! So you save money. I'm sure you all love to save money and get a good deal. You get 2 live group coaching calls with me that I will be running where you get to ask me your questions. This is priceless. If you're smart and you listen to the answers I give you, this can change the freaking trajectory of how you're dating and how you're relating. And we also are offering brand new bonuses, meditations, visualizations, masterclasses worth 1,000 euros. And honestly, put this all aside, just leap into love by itself. That content, the trainings, 35 hours plus, is life-changing. You will work on your intimacy fears, you will work on your boundaries, you will become a different woman. You cannot not succeed with this work. So we invite you, and this is an opportunity. I hope you realize, I hope you vibrationally get into that space where you understand the power of the possibility we are presenting to you right now. And you have to act on it. You've got to be smart and you've got to act on it, because this is going to be one of the best things that can happen to you and in your life. And I'm very confident about that.
Yes.
So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for listening. Love you, Phoebe, and can't wait to see your ring. And ladies, see you on the other side of your big leap. Make that leap of faith. It is a leap of faith. We really get it. You have no idea right now what's waiting for you. And you have no idea right now of what you do not know. It's only when you know, that's when things shift. So most of you don't even know what's holding you back. You don't know what you don't know. So we understand it's a leap of faith. So we invite you to take that leap of faith on yourself, bet on your life. This is going to be one of the best investments you ever make. And you'll come back 1 year later and thank us. So do it now. Okay? Sending love, everyone. Take care. Thank you, Phoebe darling, for joining. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.